But the important thing to see here is, okay, Durvasa Muni was this powerful mystic. He had, he must have been an incredible yogi, an incredible tapasvi to become so accomplished. And but he didn't really understand the glory of someone who has bhakti, someone that it doesn't look to them. Externally, he's looking and they say, "Oh, he's not like me. He doesn't do tapasya like me. He can't concentrate like me. He doesn't do yoga like me." Now he's really realizing, I thought I was evolved. Most people can't do what I do. I thought I was very evolved.
Sure.
He's more evolved than I was all along. I recognize that. So now he says, today, I have experienced the greatness of a devotee.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from Super Soul Farm, this is Wisdom of the Sage. It's a daily spiritual podcast with your host, Raghunath, and co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center in New York City, Kaustubha. Welcome to the show. It's March 19th, 2025. This is episode 1558. And it's Walk on Wednesday. We have a special Walk on Wednesday. If you're unfamiliar with what it is, well, the first 10 minutes or so of the show, we bring on somebody who's sort of cool in our eyes. That's part of our community. And we pick their brain a little bit. But before we introduce our special walk-on guest, Miss Mara, do you have any announcements for us?
I do. There's an in-person Bhakti Recovery Group meeting tonight in Philly at the Bhakti Garden at 7 p.m.
Interesting.
Yep. Also, this Sunday is the monthly Urban Devi via the Bhakti Center. It's the topic is spiritual evolution beyond the chaos, and the speaker is Ananga Manjari Devi.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I've got an announcement that I did my Kaustubha. You may refer to me as professor. The professor. As a professor, I did my class the other day at Harvard, and it's available on my stories. You can get the link to it on my Instagram at Raghunath Yogi. So if you'd like to be also part of my Harvard community, you can watch me there.
Nice, Raghunath. Nice.
Kaustubha. Can I help you with anything?
What do you mean?
Figure out your problems in life. Can I educate you?
Is that what Harvard professors do?
Are you
sure you understand what a Harvard professor is?
They help. They help
not necessarily
educate
psychiatrists.
The public. I'm here to extend my hands to you two. What is the matter? Why are you fighting it? Anyway, everything's good. Mara's feeling a little better. And
that's good.
You're leaving India tomorrow morning?
I leave. Yeah, I leave Rishikesh tomorrow morning and India tomorrow night.
Okay, so it's a good time to make an announcement that the show is still going to happen. I'm just going to co-host with Jiva G for Bhakti Recovery Group tomorrow and the next day. Is that right, Mara?
Yep, that's right. So it'll still be 7 a.m. Eastern.
All right, fantastico. All right, so let's bring on our special Walk on Wednesday guest, Ekadasi Vrata. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. I'm great. How are you?
Great. Kaustubha, would you like to introduce Ekadasi?
Ekadasi Vrata is a disciple of Srila Prabhupada and just a wonderful
No. It's Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami.
Okay. Well, that's wonderful. I was just glorifying him yesterday in our class here in Rishikesh. Okay. But, a wonderful Vaishnava. Maybe you can fill me in on all your services, but I can say this. I see you as just like someone who's raised an entire family to be beautiful Vaishnavas, which is a challenging thing to do in this day and age. And I really admire you for that. And I've always just admired your demeanor, your very devotional demeanor.
Well, thank you very much.
But maybe you can just tell us a bit about your story, about how you came to Bhakti and your services since then.
Oh, sure. I started by reading the Bhagavad Gita. My children's father, at the time we were married, and he he was a very spiritual person. So someone told him that if he wanted to know who God was, that he should read the Bhagavad Gita. So he
Very nice.
so he found the book, and we started reading, and it kind of went from there. Started going to the Brooklyn Temple.
You were living in the Bronx at the time, is that right?
Oh yeah. I'm originally from New York,
Okay.
originally from Brooklyn, and grew up in the Bronx. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So we started going to the temple there. Um,
When
yeah,
was
and
that?
that was
When was that?
1994.
Okay.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I must have seen you there then. I was living in New York in '95.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. So so we started going, and I just kind of went from there. And then maybe like in 95, that was the first time I saw Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj there, and started developing a relationship with him. And then we got initiated in 1997.
Beautiful.
Okay. Well, welcome to the show. We got a special I mean, we've announced it already, but maybe you can talk about the special program. We've been doing Sage groups for I guess about over 4 years now, and but we always wanted to do something for the kids in the family, you know, for the younger people, and we finally put something together, and so that's getting launched now. Could you share a bit about what that's all about?
Yeah. So I don't know. So I feel a little like when you those cartoons where like they ask somebody to volunteer for something, and everyone steps back except you're like the only one who's like, oh, wait a minute. So yeah, but I'm doing a Sage group for children. It's just like a pilot program, so we're just kind of trying it out to see how it goes. So we'll do, and it's just going to be 1 hour because
Okay.
kids
Yeah.
can't be too long.
Okay.
So yeah, so starting next month, it'll be I think Tuesdays. We're starting Tuesdays at 5 p.m. and that's for ages 8 to 12. And so we'll do that for a month. And then the second month, May, we'll do ages 13 to 15.
Okay. And so,
Yeah.
like, if you're a listener to the podcast and you have begun to practice bhakti and you want your your children to have some kind of opportunity to hear and connect, then that's a good place for them. That's the
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah. We'll
Okay.
start off kind of a similar outline. Like we'll start with an opening prayer, some
Okay.
kind of prayer, and then we'll do a check-in. So giving the kids an opportunity to kind of share how they're doing and like that. And then we'll read. I have let's see, this book by Gauranga Darshan Prabhu.
I think
Oh
I
yeah.
bought that book for Raghunath, right?
Oh, really?
You did. You bought it for me for my birthday. But the words are too big for me because I need even more space.
Hold it, Mr. Harvard professor over here. Come on.
There's a new Harvard professor in town. He uses
Okay.
few-syllable words.
Yeah, so I'm going to use that for reading little Bhagavatam and discussion. What else are we going to do? We're going to, we'll chant a little japa together, also
Okay.
a couple of minutes. We'll try doing one of like a shloka from Bhagavad Gita.
Mm-hmm.
And what else?
So it's
And
kind of you
questions.
mix it up. You mix it up a bit.
Yeah.
Keep it exciting.
We
Yes,
should do a summer camp.
exactly.
Let's do a summer camp. You teach them the stuff. I'll build fires with them and camp out.
Oh yeah, that sounds nice.
I think Raghunath, I think you're a little far from your mic today.
Oh yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
How's
that's
that?
better. Yeah, much better.
Yeah.
Okay, Kaustubha. So now, what do people do if they would like to? Let's say they have questions because they just want to make sure that this is the right thing for their kid. Is there a way that they can speak to you or to someone else?
Oh, sure. Yeah. They can I guess they can email me or or message me on WhatsApp.
Or should they maybe they should write to the Wisdom of the Sages sage group. Isn't there something like that, Mara? Would that be the easiest way to go
There's
about this?
Sage Group. You can write to sagegroups108@gmail.com.
Okay, and then it could be directed to if you,
Yeah, and then we
people should say this is for Ekadashi Vrata, or what's the official name of the program? Kid Sage Groups or something like that?
Yeah, I guess it's Wisdom of the Sages Youth Group.
Youth group. Okay, so then you just say, please, this is a youth group question, and then they can forward that to you. I think that would be
that's great. Great.
Talk by phone. You're also a Sage group leader yourself, right? Not just for the youth groups.
Yeah, and I have to tell you all that I'm really so grateful to be able to do that service. It's just given me an opportunity to meet so many nice people. Yeah, I mean, it's great. It's great. I love doing it. Yeah.
Well, we're grateful to you. And I think this session is about to wind down. I think is it just 2 more sessions left, maybe?
Yeah, about 2 weeks left, yes.
Yeah, and then there'll be a little break, and then it'll be time to sign up for the next one. And so then people, if you're interested, you could sign up for Ekadashi Vrata's one when that moment opens up. We'll be announcing and everything like that. But we've
actually,
rave reviews.
I'm not doing a like
backing
an
out.
adult stage group. I'm just
I get it. You got the kids. Yeah, that's a handful. I understand. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, you could pretend that you're a kid and you can get into the youth group. That works too.
Keep your camera off. Yeah.
This guy, AI, you can do all kind of stuff nowadays. All right. Well, thank you so much for doing this. We're really looking forward to bringing this to the kids. It's kind of experiment this time, I think, but you know, I have a really good feeling about it, and you take it as it goes, and it's great that we're finally reaching out to the youth.
It could open all new doors and really change kids' life. Thank you.
Yeah, I hope so. Thank you. All right. Hare Krishna.
Beautiful. Hare Krishna. Wow.
All right,
I think
Raghunath,
it's a great idea. I think next time the kid wants to reach for a screen, hey, can I use a screen? Well, there is a screen, and it's on
There's a screen.
9 o'clock in the morning, or yeah.
All right, bro.
Did you have any like spiritual education as a child? I went to Sunday school.
I went to catechism.
Okay.
You know, Sunday school. Yeah.
I did too. I liked it.
I don't remember if I liked it or not, but I do remember that like the nun was crazy and she threw a desk and that kind of stuff.
She threw a desk?
Yeah, things like that.
Ekadashi Vrata will definitely not do that.
Yeah.
Positive. There will be no desk throwing.
Yeah. Those Catholic youth education could get a little wild sometimes.
Yeah, mine was good. Mine was nice.
Right.
It felt holy, mine. You know what I mean? It felt holy.
You learned about Jesus?
Oh, yeah.
I remember, you know, while we were on the show the other day, I had a flashback. And I remembered I had this book, like my parents or my grandparents, someone gave me this book, and it was called My First Book About Jesus.
Oh.
Yeah, and you know, it was like, you know, of course, it was mainly pictures and all that, but I remember it had like Jesus, there was some boy, and the boy was handing like another boy like his own coat or something like that, like, here,
Right.
you take mine. And then Jesus is looking down like, yes, this is very good. Yeah.
Well, for anyone our age,
these messages were going in, you know.
For anyone our age, Mara, I'm sure, does not remember this, being the youngster that she is, but we were taught the Bible through David and Goliath, which was like an early clay. It was right up there with
your favorite thing to talk about.
It was right up there with Gumby. It was like a boy, a brother and sister who had a dog, and the dog would teach them spiritual truth. It was a great way to give spiritual truth. Matter of fact, maybe we should get Road Rage and Velcro.
Get them on it.
Yeah, they should make a spiritual. And there were little clips. They were short. They were like 10-minute little claymation.
Were they?
Cartoons.
It wasn't like a half-hour show?
I don't think. No, there was like 3 within a half hour.
Oh,
I think.
okay.
They're probably like 10 minutes each. They're great.
Yeah.
David and Goliath.
All right.
Claymation. Google, YouTube, search that one.
Claymation.
Valuable information.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep this moving.
And then, of course, there was Jesus Christ.
Here we go. You see?
And Godspell also taught me the Bible as a
I
teenager.
spoke about Godspell today in the last class that I gave today.
It's a Christian miracle. What are the chances of us both talking about Godspell?
Yeah, I don't know if it fits miracle status, but you know, I of course I wanted to show how Christianity was there. Like karma, jnana, and bhakti, all three levels of the evolution of spirituality were there, not just in the Vedic tradition, but in all the traditions there in Christianity. I did a little research on the Desert Fathers. Have you heard about the Desert Fathers?
No, I haven't.
Desert Fathers are something like there's something like Gyani, like Christian Gyanis. You know, they lived in the 3rd century. They were like hermits and ascetics, and they went out into the deserts of Egypt and Palestine and Syria.
Wow.
And they had this thing called the apophatic tradition, which means, like, literally what it means is the negative theology, that, like, rather than defining God's in, like, it's just like the Gyanis do. God can't be defined in words. Rather, you have to say everything God's not, right? God is not this. God has no form. God has no this. God has no, it's like neti neti.
Right.
And then they also have this idea of theosis, which is like becoming one with God, like merging into God. And this is from someone named, I don't even know how to pronounce this right now, but Evagrius Ponticus. He was a key desert father. And he said prayer is the laying aside of thoughts. Right? They're just trying to empty the mind and see God as like featureless and merge into God, and you walk away from the world. And it's like jnana within Christianity.
Yeah. I bet it's discoverable, after reading the Bible and taking some of the quotes really serious about the renunciation of the material realm. I could see how it could lead people into that realm of, I'm going to be a hermit. I'm going to live alone. I'm going to find God and sincerely pray.
Yeah. I was going to say the main point I want to, this was the last, it was like, I think the 24th class. And the main point that I want to share was that this idea, we can't, the Vedic texts are going to, they're providing all these different paths or different ideas of Dharma. And it's been revealed, through Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, that it's an evolution, from karma, I want to enjoy the world, to jnana, I want to walk away from the world, to bhakti, finding divine love. And saying bhakti is like the goal of it all, or the pinnacle of it all. It's not a sectarian thing to say. It's not a sectarian consideration. Quite the opposite. It breaks down sectarian thought, because what it means is, if I look over, let's say I'm, like I'm into the Vedic traditions, and I look over into Christianity, and I feel like I haven't really developed love for God in my heart. I'm working on it, but I'm not there. But if I look over into that tradition, I say that person has evolved to love God. Then it doesn't matter that they're not in my tradition. I say they're more evolved than I am, because it doesn't matter which tradition you're in. What matters is how evolved you are within that tradition. It's not sectarian. It breaks down sectarian thought.
Beautiful. Yeah, for sure. Again, I feel like I can embrace other spiritual traditions in a richer way, thanks to Vedic. The invitation of that Vedic thought teaches. It invites you to appreciate.
Yes, that's right. That's right, Rhoda.
All right. So
All
we
right.
have no nugget because we did a walk on Wednesday. So we're going to dive right into this new chapter, which we started yesterday.
Okay.
Narayanam
Chapter 5.
namasmityanaram chaivanarottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tatojayam midiryat. Before we start in the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, which is our very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, and to Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and Srila Vyasadeva of the author. Nasta prayeshu badreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki. By regular attendance in classes in the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotees, all that is troublesome to the heart will become eradicated, and loving service to the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, will be established as an irrevocable fact. Om Jnana Timarandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmadatam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my teachers are opening my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my obeisances at their lotus feet. Reading from the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 5, Text 11.
All right. What's happening? What's happening here?
I can't remember.
Okay. I can remember. So, Durvasa Muni, the powerful mystic who had, out of a type of pride and arrogance, had offended the gentle King Ambarish. He's come back and he's begging forgiveness now. And Ambarish was just sitting there waiting for him, just kind of waiting. And when he came, he not only forgave him, but he prayed in such a way where he almost made it like, you're doing me a favor by giving me the opportunity to forgive you. Almost like, and he
Right.
prayed that if he prayed to the Sudarshan chakra, which is the energy of Lord Vishnu. He said, if I've done anything good, if I've done charity, or if I've helped people, if I've accumulated any punya, right, any merit in terms of material or spiritual merit, if that could help this person be relieved, then please take my whole account of it. I give it up. So not only did he forgive, not only did he forget, not only did he not hold any grudge, he actually truly cared about his enemy, the person that just tried to kill him, actually. This is a person that's really well situated in their own nature, that's really feels, I have nothing to fear, I have nothing to feel resentful about. I'm fine no matter what. It's only from that platform can you come across this way.
Can I ask you a question before we get into this?
Sure.
If you're praying for somebody, and suppose that person is not a devotee of Lord Krishna, or perhaps was, and is not into it and doesn't like you, but they've hurt you.
Okay.
So your natural thing would be resentment or anger or
Yeah, that can happen.
whatever. So when you pray for them, like Ambarish is praying, what do you pray for?
Well,
Seems like you could go two directions. You could say, well, okay, I pray that you fulfill all your desires, or I pray for that you get connected to Krishna or to God somehow again. Suppose he was a devotee and just like, now I hate devotees. I hate you. I hate whatever.
Yeah.
So how do you pray for them?
I suppose you're asking me, just like this is my personal on the top
Yeah,
of
your
top
personal
of the head offer, opinion. But I suppose I pray. Okay, this person's very confused now, and they're suffering because of it, and therefore they're lashing out in the way that they are. I hope they can find some. Oh, Raghunath, let me see if I can pull this up. We read this verse today. Here's a verse. I'm gonna have to search for it. Okay, 1 second.
Okay. Are you gonna search? I can ask Mara in the meantime.
Yeah, you go ahead and share
Mara,
your way.
How would you
That'd be
ask?
great.
How would you pray? How would you pray for a person who's not a devotee, or maybe even doesn't like devotees, and they don't like you, like Ambarish? He's praying for Durvasa, who's trying to kill him. So how do you pray for them? For an envious person,
their connection with God.
You pray for their spiritual connection with God.
Yeah.
Even if they hate God.
I don't know. I guess I haven't really
Maybe
had
they
the
hate
experience of people who hate God
Yeah.
that I'm praying for.
But so you pray for their spiritual connection.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have my verse, Raghu.
Okay.
This is Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 18, Text number 9, spoken by Prahlad. Okay, but in the 5th canto.
Good. Let's hear this.
He prays, may there be good fortune throughout the universe, and may all envious people, which means like hostile people, right? May all hostile people be pacified. Right? May there be good fortune throughout the universe, and may all hostile people be pacified. May all living entities become calm by practicing bhakti yoga. For by accepting devotional service, they will think of each other's welfare. Therefore, let us all engage in the service of the Supreme Transcendence, Lord Sri Krishna, and always remain absorbed in thought of him. That's a nice one, huh?
That's many. The first part, say the first part again.
May there be good fortune throughout the universe, and may all hostile people be pacified.
I mean, that's a good thing. That's a good prayer. May all hostile people, this person seems hostile. I'm talking about Durvasa Muni, but I'm talking to other people that sometimes become hostile against us, perhaps. How do you pray for them? Suppose they don't like you, or they don't like Krishna, or they did like Krishna. So do you pray for them to become God conscious, even though they've rejected Krishna? Or
Yeah,
do you
I think
pray
we
for
do.
their, do you pray for them to fulfill their material desires? But we
No.
understand they're not fulfilling material
Yeah.
desires.
Yeah.
I want to take this to Gandarvika Giridhari, who's looking.
Okay.
I'm curious. This is an interesting one. Gandarvika, I'm unmuting you.
She's deep.
She's deep, and I don't have a bunch of pictures up here, but I'm looking right at her face right now. Gandarvika, can you hear me?
Hare Krishna, please.
Hare Krishna. We know you're a deep devotee, and the way my screen was laid out, your face was right in the middle. Suppose you have a friend. Suppose your husband, who you love, is a great guy. I'm just going to make it real personal. But all of a sudden, he's like, it's over. It's over. I'm sick of this Krishna thing. Is too much. I think you've come over the top. You're fanatical. I need my space. How do you pray for him? How would you pray for him? Would you?
That's a little too personal, Raghunath.
No, I don't mind sharing.
Okay.
That's fine. My husband's a Buddhist. He reads Bhagavatam from time to time, but he doesn't necessarily have that personal sort of connection in his practice.
Yeah.
So I just, for me, I just pray for him to find nourishment in his own practice.
Okay. That's a good one. Find nourishment in their practice. That was the answer I was looking for, actually.
Okay.
Because it's not like, okay, I want you to be just like me and worship, because there's many facets to ways to worship your higher power, and that is a good way. Instead of saying, no, I'm actually going to pray for you to worship exactly like I do. That may not be what they need, even.
Okay.
Okay. Gandarvika, thank you.
We have a little something here from Michelle, the 12-step resentment prayer.
Okay, let's hear that.
Help me to master my resentment. Oh, one second. Help me to master my resentments by understanding that the people who wrong me were perhaps spiritually sick. They're sick.
If they wronged me, they must have been sick.
Please help me show those I resent the same tolerance, pity, and patience that I would cheerfully grant a sick friend. Help me to see that this is a sick man. Okay, maybe a little condescending, but
a little condescending. You hate me? You must be sick, very sick, and I pity you.
No, but there's some wisdom in there.
No, there is. I get it. But this is important. You got to see people. If people have hate, there's a sickness. Period.
Yes, there you go.
And I think it's safe to say, I think across the board, whatever religious tradition you're in, if a person is hating another person, there's some sickness in the heart, and we should feel like this person is sick. And how would you treat a person that's sick? I mean, sometimes I'm not feeling well, and ask Mara, I get a little grumpy. I get a little grumpy. Yeah, I get a little grumpy, and instead of like
Baba Ganoush, it's okay.
Yeah. I get a little grumpy, and then she'll just she'll overlook my grump, and she'll give me a little love, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's very kind. You extend that.
Okay.
Sometimes I wake up a little grumpy.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And sometimes I let her sleep in.
That's from the big book. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All
that
right.
was very good.
All right.
I hope you didn't mind that diversion. I felt like it keeps us on track here. Because
Okay,
we got to figure
relevant.
out how to pray for people that are different than us and maybe on a different path for us.
Okay.
So
I felt that was on point.
Giridhari's spiritual nourishment. I pray they get the nourishment they need from their path. Now, unfortunately, some people have a completely materialistic path. But perhaps you could pray that they try to
find a good path.
They fulfill their senses and they realize like that can't be. I don't know. Now I'm stuck on that one. You pray for them to fulfill their material senses, because generally that means at somebody else's cost and even their own self-detriment.
Let's not worry about that.
Okay. Let's not think too deep here.
Yeah. Okay, let's read Bhagavatam. Let's go.
Text 11. If the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is one without a second, who is the reservoir of all transcendental qualities, and who is the life and soul of all living entities, is pleased with us, we wish that this Brahmana, Durvasa Muni, be freed from the pain of being burned.
Nice.
Sukadeva Goswami said, so this is the narrator, When the king offered prayers to the Sudarshan Chakra and Lord Vishnu, because of his prayers, the Sudarshan Chakra became peaceful and stopped burning the Brahman known as Durvasa Muni. Durvasa Muni, the greatly powerful mystic, was indeed satisfied when freed from the fire of Sudarshan. Thus he praised the qualities of Maharaj Ambarish and offered him the highest benedictions. Durvasa Muni said, "My dear king, today I have experienced the greatness of the devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Okay.
For although I have committed an offense, you have prayed for my good fortune." Here it is. This is the Jesus story right here.
God forgive them, for they do not know what they have done.
They don't know what they're doing. This is like, imagine the people trying to nail Jesus to the cross, hearing Jesus make that prayer, and they're just going, "What are we doing? This is wrong." This is what's going on right now.
Okay.
Yeah. And if this story sounds too fantastic, the flaming wheel of Lord Vishnu, hey, it happened with the story of Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur was beaten in, 14 marketplaces, 16 marketplaces?
21, I think.
21 marketplaces, a lot of marketplaces, beaten almost to death. And he was just praying for the people that were beating him. It's like an out-of-body experience almost. He's not even feeling his body. And then, of course, Lord Chaitanya took the pain, took the lashes on his body for his devotee. Great story. We're not going to get into it now, but okay. Text 15.
But the important thing to see here is, okay, Durvasa Muni was this powerful mystic. He had, he must have been an incredible yogi, an incredible tapasvi to become so accomplished. And but he didn't really understand the glory of someone who has bhakti, someone that it doesn't look to them. Externally, he's looking and they say, "Oh, he's not like me. He doesn't do tapasya like me. He can't concentrate like me. He doesn't do yoga like me." Now he's really realizing, I thought I was evolved. Most people can't do what I do. I thought I was very evolved. Sure. He's more evolved than I was all along. I recognize that. So now he says, today, I have experienced the greatness of a devotee. I thought I had mental control by doing the austerities that I do. Look at his mental control. I tried to kill him, and he had nothing but good feelings for me. That's a yogi. That's what he's realizing now, yeah.
For those who achieved the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the master of the pure devotees, what is impossible to do, and what is impossible to give up?
There you go. Right. This is what I was thinking. I was thinking, it's one thing to say, okay, you know what? I'm not going to get upset. Fine. Let's move on. But it's another thing where, like, you're willing to say, I may have accumulated some good spiritual merit in my life. And that may play out that will play out in my future in a way, like all of the charity that I've given, all of the kindness that I've shown, all of the, meditation that I've done and the rituals that I've done, you have the idea that that's going to play some major benefit at the time that you die and determining your future life. And he's saying, I don't care if I throw that all out and I'm just right back down to the average schmo out there, who's like not doing any of that. I'm willing to offer all of that to this person, to any person, right? But what to speak of to this person who's just tried to kill me? You have to be so well situated in understanding that I am eternal, that I can't be harmed, to be able to. That means you got a deep spiritual realization. And he's saying, if you've got that, what's impossible for you? There's nothing impossible for you. Someone's knocking on my door. I better check it 1 second.
That's okay. I'm going to have to go to the bathroom soon. I'm going to get a little payback. Text 16. What is impossible for the servants of the Lord? By the very hearing of his holy name, one is purified. O King, here we go. By the very hearing of his holy name, one is purified. O king, overlooking my offenses, you have saved my life. Thus, I'm very much obliged to you because you are so merciful.
That was old Tara Das over there. Tara.
Just missed one on the power of the holy name, the power
Yeah,
of
I saw that.
sound, the
What's
consciousness.
impossible?
Yeah. Sometimes, again, it's like going to the gym. You work out once and you feel like, well, nothing's affecting me. We chant the holy name. We think, well, it doesn't, I just chanted it. Didn't seem like it. But the process that we're doing is refining our chanting. You're right. We spoke about the capsule, Bhakti Siddhanta, Srila Prabhupada's guru.
Right.
Spoke about this, the capsule that could have cyanide or it could have nectar in it. The capsule. So if we're chanting the holy name, we're dialing in the appropriate intention, not just chanting it with our lips. We're sort of changing our heart. And how do you do that? Is it one switch we flick? No, it's a whole process, and it starts to get revealed. It starts to get revealed to us as we work the process. We start to dial that in more and more, and on a daily basis, we have to show up. I want to get deeper into this holy name. I want to get deeper into this holy name, and therefore, just chanting it once has that power. O king, overlooking my offenses, you have saved my life. Thus, I'm very much obliged to you because you are so merciful. Expecting the return of Durvasa Muni, the king had not taken his food.
You know what, Raghunath, I just want to mention one thing.
Sure.
Because just going back to what you were discussing earlier, like, how do you pray for someone who's hostile towards you?
Yeah.
And in one sense, it's beautiful that Ambarish is offering his prayers, but his response has just totally turned Durvasa Muni around. Right? If he would have fought back, if he would have been angry or resentful or been like, okay, just get away from me, or, Durvasa Muni would have been like, okay, I got off the hook, but I can't, he wouldn't have developed this appreciation. He wouldn't have had this change of heart. But just by his tolerance and his kindness, Durvasa Muni's had a complete change of heart now. He's saying, I'm so obliged to you because you're so merciful. You've overlooked my offenses. He's just had a total shift, from arrogance to humility, from not being able to appreciate a great Vaishnava to full appreciation.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Mara's going to read the next one. Check this out. Text 19.
Where's Raghu going? Everybody's taking a break now. Look at him run.
Did we finish text 18?
I'm not sure.
Okay, I'm going to read that.
Why don't we go ahead and read it again? Yeah.
Okay. Expecting the return of Durvasa Muni, the king had not taken his food. Therefore, when the sage returned, the king fell at his lotus feet, pleasing him in all respects, and fed him sumptuously.
So he's actually not even like, he's still treating him like with his high level of respect because he's a sage.
Yeah. All right. Thus the king respectfully received Durvasa Muni, who, after eating varieties of palatable food, was so satisfied that with great affection he requested the king to eat also, saying, "Please take your meal."
Please take your meal. You. No, you. No, you.
Please eat. All right. Text 20. Durvasa Muni said, I'm very pleased with you, my dear king. At first, I thought of you as an ordinary human being and accepted your hospitality. But later, I could understand by my own intelligence that you were the most exalted devotee of the Lord. Therefore, simply by seeing you, touching your feet, and talking with you, I have been pleased and have become obliged to you.
Okay, let's read this commentary, Mara, while Raghu's out. Should I read? You want me to read?
Yeah, go, whatever you want.
Okay, it says, it is said, Vaishnavera kriya mudra vigyeha na bhujhaya. Even a very intelligent person cannot understand the activities of a pure Vaishnava, like Raghunath, just running around here and there. Who can understand?
Who can understand a pure Vaishnava?
Someone was at the door.
Oh, we're all getting people at the door.
Go figure.
Yeah.
7 a.m.
It says, therefore, although Durvasa Muni was a great mystic yogi, he mistook Maharaj Ambarisha for an ordinary human being and wanted to punish him. Such is the mistaken observation of a Vaishnava. Right? It's hard. We got to be careful, especially when we get into community of Vaishnavas, we might misunderstand someone. We might misunderstand the depth of their, the depths of their devotion. Even that it may appear different, you know. At the end of this commentary, Prabhupada writes this. He says, there's always the possibility of so-called jnanis and yogis to be mistaken when studying the character of a Vaishnava. Look at how much they eat. They're always eating that prasad like that, you know.
Look at that.
You know, they're just singing their songs and singing songs, but why can't they be austere like us, renounced like us?
Yeah.
You know?
Careful, Kaustubha.
What are you talking about?
Bhakti comes in many forms. Isn't that good to know?
It's
I
wonderful.
thought it was one size fits all. No.
Mhm.
Bhakti comes in so many different forms. And that's a very beautiful thing. So yeah, this is a real warning. Be careful about offenses. Be careful about judgments, criticism, condemnations, because you might be with someone who's very deeply connected. So it's always safe to give some respect, give some benefit of the doubt, give some care, concern, some love.
As quickly as possible, we have to rise to a certain level of maturity where we're like, you know what? I can withhold judgment, especially, you know, I'm not saying that, you know, you always got to give like
You should always.
you know, I'm saying always, what do they call it? Like when you're going to make a statement, but you can say there are exceptions, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, some disclaimer.
Disclaimer. Yeah, there always has to be a little disclaimer. We're not saying that we shouldn't, you know, we should tolerate any kind of abuse in our communities. And
Right, you
obviously,
gotta say that. That's the normal.
you have to say that. But I am saying that we need to come to a level as quickly as possible where we become accustomed to saying, I don't need to judge this devotee. I don't need to judge whether they're weird or whether they're not as renounced as me. Look, you know, look, they're really caught up in materialistic. Like, I don't need to judge that. For all I know, they look like that and they're incredibly deep. For all I know, their circumstances are just so totally different than mine. And in their heart, they've opened up to the deepest, purest, most humble and genuine relationship with God, and far more than myself. There's no point in me. There's no need for me to judge everyone. I can just respect everyone.
Who knows where they're coming from in a previous life, too?
We don't know.
We really have no clue. Who knows where I'm coming from, and who knows where they're coming from?
Yeah.
So it keeps you in a non-judgmental platform.
Yeah. That's where we operate. That's where the Vaishnavas operate. Right there. You'll find that space, and you're going to be a lot happier, and you're going to make a lot more advancement.
Sure.
All right. Durvasa's learning the lesson.
On.
Yeah.
Right,
text 21.
You guys done with this purport? You want to just go to the next verse?
Yeah, we can go to text 21 now.
Text 21. All the blessed women in the heavenly planets. Just thinking about that. Interesting.
We're gonna stop thinking about the women on the heavenly planets. Okay.
Well, I'm just thinking, like, what are they like? The women, the blessed
They're very
women.
beautiful.
They're probably very beautiful.
Not probably. They are.
They are very beautiful. There's not one
Yeah.
ugly woman on a heavenly planet.
No, you don't go there and get an ugly body.
Okay.
I think.
I wonder if there's people on hellish planets be like that. These humans on Earth, they're so good looking compared to us. We're gross.
Definitely some of them. You've seen those pictures of the Yamadutas. They're grotesque.
Yeah. Anyway,
Hideous.
all the blessed women in the heavenly planets will continuously chant about your spotless character at every moment. And the people of this world will also chant your glories continuously.
Wow. He must have been like, oh, I don't know what to say.
Yeah. Thus, being satisfied in all respects, the great mystic Yogi Durvasa took permission
where are you?
and left.
All the blessed women. Oh, you skipped the Sri Shukadev Goswami continued. I don't know why you did that.
You know why?
Because I don't know why.
I'm a storyteller. You don't have to keep on saying the narrator said.
Well, no, we don't know who's talking without you saying that.
Does. If I'm just telling the story, it's the story.
No, but a second ago it was Durvasa speaking, and unless you point out that someone else is speaking now, we don't know.
If you just listen to the verse, it makes. Must you die on this hill? It sounds like I'm just telling a story. Thus, Sri Shukadev Goswami
I want to know who's speaking.
Okay. What happened to respect everyone?
I'm trying to respect everyone.
You're not.
All right, Krishna.
Sri Sukadeva Goswami continued, thus being satisfied in all respects, the great mystic yogi Durvasa took permission and left. Isn't that nice? Indians do this.
May I go now?
May I have your permission to leave?
May I have your
It's
kind permission?
Of course. It's so sweet. Okay, yes, you may leave.
What is your good name?
Permission.
You see, like when they say, what is your name? That could be seen as like an aggressive. What is your name? What is your good name?
What is your good name? You know what? That's a great point. They'll say, what is your good name? Otherwise, it sounds like you're like a highway trooper. What are those guys? What's your name?
Yeah, right. Yeah, let's see your papers.
Let's see license registration. Then they say,
get out of the car.
Get out of the car.
Yeah, they have. It's a way of being sensitive, so it won't be perceived as aggressive.
What's your
Would you
good
please
name?
tell me your good name? Or also, like, would you mind? Would you kindly do this? Would you kindly do that? They say like that, right?
What is your good wife's name? Oh, you don't know my wife. You know, no. What is your good wife's name? My good wife. I got a good one. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's nice. And sometimes they call you dear. How are you, dear? In America, you would never call a man. A man would never call a man.
In India, they call you dear.
You've never been called dear in India. Thank you.
I mean,
dear.
maybe it's like a really old person or something like that.
Maybe. Hello, dear. Oh, it's beautiful when they call you dear. When they call me dear, I'm like, oh, thank you. Thank you, dear. I'm old enough. I can call people dear.
Yeah, you do it, son. You called me dear the other day. It's a little weird, but it was cool.
Yeah. I meant actually deer the animal. Yes, that time.
All right, whatever.
Okay. Boar, deer, Schwein. Just kidding. Thank you, dear. Thus being satisfied in all respects, the great mystic yogi Durvasa took permission and left, continuously glorifying the king. So even as he was leaving, he's just glorifying the king.
He couldn't stop.
Walking out the door.
God,
Like,
this
I
man,
can't
look what he
believe this
did.
king. Right? Through the skyways, he went to Brahma Loka, right, the planet of Brahma, which is devoid of agnostics and dry philosophical speculators.
Brahmaloka. So he has this ability to travel throughout the universe. He's going up to the upper level planets.
Mm-hmm. And look who's there. Look who's not there. The agnostics and the jñānis.
Agnostic front. They're not
Agnostic
there.
front is not on Brahmaloka. That would be great if Roger was up there.
Yo, where we at?
Yeah. Where's Brahma?
All right. Durvasa Muni. Text 23, Raghunath.
Text 23. Durvasa Muni had left the place of Maharaj Ambarish, and as long as he did not, as long as he had not returned for one complete. Let me read this again. Durvasa Muni had left the place of Maharaj Ambarish, and as long as he had not returned for one complete year, the king had fasted, maintaining himself simply by drinking water.
So that means not this time that Durvasa left, the other time when he left, when he was being chased by the Sudarshan Chakra, Ambarish just stood there, fasting, waiting for him to come back.
And it wasn't for a cleanse. It was for
No.
spiritual purposes. It wasn't for
Out of respect.
It wasn't a detox. It wasn't the what's that called? The what's the one where you drink the cayenne and lemon juice?
Oh yeah.
It wasn't the master cleanse he was doing. It was a full on.
Look at you, all proud of yourself. Clever, very clever, Raghunath.
All right, come on.
All right.
After 1 year, when Durvasa Muni had returned, King Ambarish sumptuously fed him all varieties of pure food, and then he himself also ate. When the king saw that the Brahmana Durvasa had been released from the great danger of being burned, he could understand that by the grace of the Lord, he himself was also powerful. But he did not take any credit, for everything had been done by the Lord.
It's not me.
Not me. It's the Lord. In this way, because of devotional service, Maharaj Ambarish, who was endowed with the varieties of transcendental qualities, was completely aware of Brahman, Paramatma, and the
Oh,
Supreme Personality of Godhead. And thus he executed bhakti, pure devotional service, perfectly. Because of his devotion, he thought even the topmost planet of this material world is no better than the hellish planets.
this point to me is something that I've been thinking about a lot and studying and speaking about and trying to really understand this, Raghunath.
Brahma, Bhuvana, Loka, Puna,
No,
Avartinu, Arjuna. That
no, no,
point?
no, no, not at all. No,
Okay, tell me.
completely wrong. That's not even close. Way off.
I was like, he's going to be impressed with this.
That was a nice verse.
Well, it's not just a nice verse. It has everything to do with what he just said from the highest
In
planet
this
of the
way,
material world
because
to the hellish planets.
okay, no, but I'm focusing on this other part.
Okay.
In this way, because of devotional service, because he had bhakti,
Yeah.
Maharaj Ambarish was endowed with all varieties of transcendental qualities and was completely aware of Brahman and Paramatma. In other words, if there's Brahman realization, which means I understand I'm not my body, I understand I'm eternal, my mind is beyond the material false identifications. I have a steady mind no matter what's happening externally because I am spirit, I'm beyond it. That's Brahman realization. And then Paramatma realization is I realize that behind all the workings of the universe, there's a divine intelligence, Lord Vishnu, who's controlling everything. He's inside my heart, he's inside your heart, he's inside every atom. He is the universal consciousness that's permeating everything. That's if you've got that, you've got Brahman realization also inside that, right? It's like concentric circles.
Yeah.
You don't have that and not have Brahman realization. No, if you have that, you also have I'm not my body, I'm eternal, etc. But if you have bhakti, you have Paramatma realization, you have Brahman realization all inside that. So you may look like, oh, he's a king, he's an enjoyer. No, he's got Brahman realization more than Durvasa has Brahman realization, right? He knows everything, even though a bhakti yogi may look like an old lady, she's overweight, she's doing some puja in her house, she's serving out the samosas,
Yeah.
She doesn't have Brahman realization. If she loves Krishna, she's lost interest in everything material. She's not identifying with her body. In her heart, she's identifying as I'm the eternal servant of Krishna.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, when you have bhakti, it's all included.
So you are very correct. It was very, very good. But I want you to see the entire picture of this verse.
Okay.
Because
of his
I was
devotion,
saying,
even the
because of his
topmost
devotion.
planet.
So this is the
That
second
was
half.
appropriate.
This
Yes,
is the
that
second lesson here, which
Okay.
I tuned into because we're different.
Very,
That's okay.
very, with great acumen, you tuned into that, Raghunath.
Thank you.
Yes.
The
It
second
must
part
be
of
your
this verse, he says,
Harvard experience that you had.
it's I've taught at Harvard before, but I'm not going to get into that.
They loved it when I shared
that.
that.
Was a different phase of my life.
Yeah, the other day.
I've relinquished that. Now I just want to study the Bhagavad Gita on my own. Okay. Because of his devotion, he thought even the topmost planet of this material world was no better than a hellish planet. So I was quoting the Bhagavad Gita from the 8th chapter.
I got you. Perfect.
Right?
Perfect.
From the highest planet. So the devotees are not shooting after these higher levels of
They're not interested.
Of celestial planes where there is more enjoyment. Now, and you can take that in our own life as what is the point of economic development? What is the point of changing our personal strategy to climb higher in this material world and get more sense gratification? It's not that you don't get some type of pleasure from sense gratification. It's that it's temporary.
Right.
And whether you're on a very high planet of the material realm or whether you're you're living large in the material world, ultimately our greatness can end in a moment. And we see that. We see that people who have it all, and they're just some incredible health reversal or a financial reversal or whatever. Anything could happen at any moment, and also they're on the lower planets. So from the highest planet to the lowest planets, ultimately we're talking about a temporary world. What is there that's lasting? What is there that's eternal? and those who are like digging a little deeper into how to enjoy the world. I'm not saying don't enjoy. I'm saying we want the most enjoyment. We want to enjoy more than anybody,
Okay.
but you're doing
Alright.
it all wrong. We want a lasting enjoyment. It is our
Okay.
birthright to be enjoyers,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah, but we're just not interested in enjoying Krishna's property. We just want to enjoy the feeling that one has when they serve with love.
Sometimes we speak to people who say, you're got to cut out this enjoyment, that's sense gratification, and this is sense gratification, no more enjoyment. And it makes us seem like a bunch of miserable old nuns. No, we're actually looking for the highest enjoyment. We just don't want enjoyment that comes and goes. So from the highest planets to the lower planets, these are just temporary enjoyments. Want to get something more sublime, something more subtle, something that grows as we become more connected.
All right. Hey, why don't we finish up the chapter? There's 3 verses left.
I was thinking leaving it as
Mara
a
was ready.
cliffhanger. What do you think of that?
Well, it's pretty much over. We're already over the cliff.
I know, but we're off
Pretty much
over
done.
time too, my friend.
All right, all right,
Nope.
all right.
Balance your life. It'll help you.
Sorry?
Balance. That's your takeaway for you. Let me do.
You're
start
telling
with
you're
takeaways.
you're
The first
telling
takeaway
me this, Raghunath. You're telling
is
you're
balance. Okay, that's your first one. Okay, you keep that.
Thank you,
That's
Raghunath. I will look to you as the
I
example
give
of
that to you. my
balance
friend.
as a primary inspiration and a balanced life.
Something's gonna happen today. Something's gonna happen tonight,
Okay.
and it's gonna be like, man, balance. It's gonna happen, and you're gonna be like, oh God. Okay,
All right.
go on.
Divine love breaks down sectarianism.
Yes,
It does. It does.
Kaustubha said that.
I did.
Balance.
May all hostile people be pacified.
Chill.
Just say balance after everything.
Pray for
Balance.
others to get the nourishment they need from their path.
May they find the balance.
Balance them out. Pray for their balance.
A real yogi prays for everyone.
Yep.
Praise for their balance.
Balance planet yoga.
Tolerance and kindness changes the heart.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Beware of misunderstanding or judging the depth of a Vaishnav.
Don't go there.
They're deep.
Bhakti comes in many forms. It's not one size fits all.
Many outfits. Just look at all the beautiful faces on our Zoom board right now. So many different beautiful faces.
No need to judge, just respect.
There you go.
Yeah, don't judge.
When you have bhakti, you have it all.
You want it
Okay.
all? Bhakti yoga.
Find the eternal enjoyment of serving with love.
Eternal enjoyment.
And
Not just like ever get a squirt gum when you're little? Freshen up, you bite it, and it's like, like squirt something in your mouth. It's like, oh, that
I
was
never
good.
liked that.
And then it's like over quick. No, we don't want squirt gum. We want a lasting, chewable, gum that lasts.
Okay, Raghunath.
Not a squirt.
Could you balance out your message and your energy just a little bit? Just a little.
I
Just balance it out. Just balance it. Balance it out.
I want you to balance.
And agnostic front is not on Brahmaloka.
They may
want-
be someday.
They might be higher than Brahmaloka. I have full faith in agnostic front. They're some of my oldest friends. Matter of fact, next time I go to Radhakund and pray for all of agnostic front, every lineup they've ever had.
Agnostic front lives in Stigma Loka.
Stigma Loka. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Thanks to all our Sage Group leaders. Thanks to all the people who take part in the Sage. Thanks to all the people that are community, or how do you say it?
Sage Community Platform.
Sage Community Platform supporters. Appreciate it. That keeps this train chugging down the tracks. That keeps this boat floating. That keeps this motorcycle revving. That keeps this submarine sinking. Plane flying. Thank you very much. We appreciate it so much. We got some people who joined late. And I can say good morning to Miss Mara. Oh, Dominica's here.